And I have to say something else. There's no such thing as a good Christian. Because you can't be a Christian and good. There's no such thing as a good Muslim, a good Jew. I'm not even going to get to Hindu. Because religions are rising up and wreaking havoc everywhere. It's a maladaptation. You got fake world, artificial understandings of real world problems. But you in Africa, religious extremism is burning and fucking shit up everywhere. You got religious extremists in Africa. Christian extremists murdering and lynching people. It's flawed from the foundation. You got Zionists. I ain't got to tell you about the Zionist atrocity. Jewish faith, the Hebrew faith that is being used to justify genocide. Hindu nationalism. They're lynching and murdering Muslims. And women, gang raping women in the name of the Hindu gods and nationalism. I ain't got to tell you about the Islamic oligarchies. How religion is driving ecocide. And as the real world becomes more chaotic, the real world and ecosystems become more disrupted, as reality becomes less present, more and more people escape into fantasy. And as they escape into fantasy and they don't get relief, so you run to, I'm just going to trust in the Lord. I'm just going to lean on the Lord. And then the problems still perpetuate. So as the problems perpetuate, then you begin angry. You're in that same space of fantasy, but the rage doesn't dissipate. So what the fantasy does, instead of helping to dissipate the rage, it fuels the rage. So you're in a state of illogic, unreason, and rage. But if you're raged, I understand and I accept, I respect, and I acknowledge and support your rage. But that rage needs to be married to an analysis, to logic, to reason, and evidence. I'm being done wrong. I'm being subjected to an injustice. And it outrages me. What is the source of that injustice? Who is exploiting me? And if you're logical, you won't be saying, oh, transgender people, the gays are taking over. Oh, the migrants, the poor refugees at the south of the border are making my life hard. The colored folks, the blacks, the black minorities are making my life. Demonic forces. The return and the abandonment of Christian values is why I'm suffering. You won't reach those conclusions if you're raged, if you reach the point of outrage, which you should be in, but you don't try to retreat to delusions and religion. But if you retreat to delusions and religions, instead of real world oppressors, the oligarchs, the capitalist elite, you won't see them as the problem. You'll see unreal things like demons, spirits, and specters. If you're in a point of logic, you'll say, I have to look to my brothers and sisters and organize with my brothers and sisters for liberation. If you're in a part of unreason, you will look to your ancestors. Lift me up, my ancestors, thinking some black people from our ethereal realm can do anything for you and intervene on your behalf. And instead of organizing, you burning sage and casting spells. This shit is unacceptable. Somebody got to call this shit out. It will lead to the doom of our people. Religion and spirituality have too much power and too much impact and control over us as individuals and us as a collective. And until we diminish the power of formalized religion and diminish the impact of fantasy, make-believe thinking that we determine is real, we are doomed. And my main point of Christian nationalism is that many of the delusions of the white Christian nationalists, black people, are primed. We are so susceptible to it. And everywhere I look, every time I engage, I'm seeing more and more of their irrationality, their bloodlust, their delusions spill over into us. And we take that shit and season it up and sell it back to our own community. So, until we overcome our tendency to make things that are unreal real, which is really a testament to the amazing evolution. I got black people who are saying climate change ain't real. They're talking about God's will. They're talking about how we in the last days, how prophecies are being fulfilled. I mean, in 2023, people are speaking like illiterate nomads. How are we in 2023 and we still got these same delusions and superstitions that plagued us for over 2,000 years? And so many good black people, well-intentioned people think, well, if I want to work with, I want to help, I want to engage with my community and my race, I got to respect religion. You don't respect something by simply bowing to it. Respect is, I'm going to see you for who you are and what you are and respond accordingly. To me, that's respect. And maybe Wednesday, I want to talk more about Black liberation theology. I know that Skip Coon is not very keen on discussing religion. But I'm going to open up for questions, comments, and criticism. First, let me acknowledge my generous supporters. Jesus Christ. But I want to talk about this more. I am a devangelist. I am a devangelist, which means I want to the best of my ability, as a core part, as I fight for liberation, if I fight for just distribution of the world's resources, as I fight for the proper stewardship of the world's ecosystem, I also fight to diminish the power and impact of religion and supernatural delusion, supernatural myths over people. I fight to expand secularism. I am a secularist, which means I'm willing to work with people who have religious beliefs, but I'm not willing to allow their religious beliefs to dictate a goddamn thing for anybody besides them. And I have to determine whether or not their religious belief makes them compatible or even capable of engaging in reasoned, rational action. And unfortunately, I've met quite a few people from several different belief systems who have demonstrated that capacity. But it's still harming us. We don't realize the harm. Jesus does not walk with you. I have to go to Kanye. I got to need somebody to put that in a song. Jesus doesn't walk with you. Jesus does not exist. There was no virgin birth. There is no dying for your sin, and there will be no return from on high. God's plan. Go to Drake. God has no plan. Every plan made by God was written by a man pretending to act on behalf of God. Every holy book was conceptualized by individuals, organization, cabals. And I know that's something to struggle with. But if you are a believer in any religion, don't just look at the holy book. Look at the anthropological record. Look at the claims made about science. If your holy book says something about how the earth was formed, about how man came to be, about how the different kinds and diversity of life came to be on this planet, and you look at the end times, oh, God said the world would end in fire. Look at Maui. If you think about it, everything in the Bible was right around what those primitive people could see. Fire, bugs and locusts, floods. They don't say shit about bullets. They don't say shit about nuclear fission and bombs. They don't say anything about airplanes. And then people say, oh, it descended from the sky. And they go to the Bible that doesn't say airplanes. And they're like, well, that's an airplane. Why didn't God just say airplane? He knew we would be speaking English. Why didn't God produce the Bible? Why did the Bible have to be translated by man? God didn't know we'd be sitting here speaking English. I mean, it's such an obvious con. Humanity has to come out. Humanity is enslaved by our own inventions. Everybody's talking about AI. Everybody's scared of AI, but y'all been following the Bible? Y'all so scared of we're gonna invent something that's gonna take us over. We're gonna invent something that's gonna control us. We're gonna invent something that can destroy us. We already did that shit 2,300 years ago. We already invented something that could destroy us. So how are you gonna fucking address the new threats, the new inventions that could destroy us, and you ain't dealing with the original self-destroying invention in the palm of your hand? You're giving 10% of your income to the very invention that can destroy you. Weird. Anyway, I'm past time. Let me acknowledge my supporters and let y'all go. Thank you, Canisius. $10. I appreciate that support. And much respect to you. Rest in peace to Dr. Khalid Abdul Muhammad. Khalid Abdul Muhammad lives. He is an ancestor. Not because he's some specter floating in some ancestral realm. He is an ancestor because he left behind a body of work. And he left behind an example that we can follow. So that's how he lives on. He lives on through his students. We who have learned from him and seek to carry on his mission of African liberation. Blessings on blessings. I'll forget everything I just said because I just been blessed, y'all. Shoot. I was going to go home after this. So I have to find something else to do. So if Dr. Mingo ain't watching this because I'm about to go, I have a windfall. But then 100% agree with you when you talk about understanding the difference between uprisings and military coups. We have to take a rational approach, a rational look at what is really going on Africa, and we have to be sincere in our analysis. Blessings on blessings. He blesses with funding and he blesses us. If you love the Bro Diallo Show, thank Nam because that's the kind of support. Woo, blessings on blessings. It's very encouraging and beyond support. Super sticker. I don't know what Set him. Nah. Okay. Thank everyone who made contributions in the super chat. Thanks for everyone. Next week, I promise I'm going to open up the phones for a longer period of time. I wanted to open up the phone because I know this is a sensitive topic. And we, tune into Black Power Media, Rational Radicals. I'm going to see if Skip Coon is willing to discuss Black liberation theology with me because he is a Black liberation theologist. Hopefully he doesn't see this show. And that's that. I appreciate y'all. Shout out to King Son. Shout out to Poor Righteous Teacher. Shout out to the legacy and tragedy that is Tupac Shakur. And we came in with King Son. We might as well make